Dr. Sami Reed stood at the edge of the launch platform, his heart racing like a drum in his chest. The Martian wind blew red dust across his boots and whispered against his suit. Far above, a gift shuttle from Ganymede Station curved toward the settlement's hangar. Craft carried supplies and one precious passenger, an alien symbiont named Lyra. Sami watched the shuttle's lights grow bright through the swirling haze of Martian storms. He shifted on his feet, uncertain and excited. At the same time, ground crew hurried forward to secure the shuttle and unload its cargo. Among crates of food, tools, and medical equipment, a sealed container hummed softly. Sami knelt beside it and read the label. Lyra, symbiont companion, bonding required. He felt a thrill and a prick of worry at the same time. He had studied the specs but never met a symbiont in person before. Now, at last, the moment had arrived. The hatch of the container slid open with a gentle hiss. A creature stepped out, slender and graceful with bioluminescent patterns on its skin. Its eyes glowed soft green, full of curiosity and warmth. A clear voice echoed in Sami's mind. "Is something wrong with me, human? You haven't bonded me since I arrived?" The words felt like a gentle breeze in his thoughts. He raised his gloved hand in greeting. The crew stepped back, giving Sami space to approach Lyra. His breath caught as he met her gaze, unsure how to respond. He nodded slowly and said aloud, "Hello, Lyra. I am Dr. Sami Reed." For a moment, silence fell between them in the quiet hangar. Then Lyra tilted her head, studying him with bright eyes. Her glow pulsed in gentle waves across her skin. People began to drift away, eager to finish their tasks and leave. Sami realized they had only the lab ahead, and the crowd was gone. He felt a pang of guilt that he had kept Lyra waiting. He recalled the bonding protocol required to sustain her life energy. The manual said it was simple, but needed care and presence. He had not yet prepared for it. Light from the hangar's windows bathed the lab in a soft glow. Sami led Lyra to a circular chamber filled with gentle light and calm hums. Connected sensors to the chamber walls and adjusted the controls. Lyra floated inside, her form drifting like a sea creature in water. Her voice in his mind sounded hopeful and quiet. "I am ready when you are," she whispered softly. Sami took a deep breath and activated the bonding sequence. Threads of pale light stretched from the chamber walls toward him and Lyra. He closed his eyes and focused on the gentle pulse of energy around them. Memories of Earth's oceans, of childhood laughter, and of long nights studying space drifted through his mind. The air in the chamber felt warmer and alive. A soft chime sounded as the sequence completed its cycle. Lyra's glow brightened, and she drifted closer to Sami. He opened his eyes and saw joy in her radiant form. She spoke in his mind. "Thank you, human. I feel whole again." Sami smiled and reached out, touching the chamber wall to steady himself. They stepped out of the chamber together, bound by shared light and understanding. Sami felt a new strength and warmth within him, as if a new friend had arrived in his life. Days passed in the red Martian settlement, and Dr. Sami Reed's days were full of research. He woke early each morning to check his instruments. He measured soil samples, tested water filters, and calibrated solar panels. Lyra watched him quietly. From a glass suite beside his lab, she drifted close to the viewing window and studied Sami's busy hands. Her bioluminescent patterns pulsed softly like a heartbeat of hope. Inside her chamber, Lyra felt her energy flicker when Sami delayed. Their bonding. She knew it kept her strong, but she did not want to distract him. Instead, she decided to show her feelings with small gifts. One afternoon, Lyra slipped a glowing Martian pebble into the storage compartment of Sami's toolkit. It was smooth and warm with faint green light inside. When Sami found it, he held it up and smiled. "Where did you get this?" he asked aloud. But Lyra only replied in his mind, "A gift, to thank you." Sami placed the pebble on his desk and returned to work. On another day, Lyra transmitted a data fragment of Earth music to Sami's headset. The soft piano melody played as he adjusted sensors on the lab roof. He paused and listened, closing his eyes. The music reminded him of home, sat on a crate, and let the notes fill him. Lyra hovered near the door, her glow brighter now. I hope this comforts you, she thought. Sami tapped his headset and whispered, Thank you, Lyra. It is beautiful. Then he returned to his instruments with a thoughtful look. Lyra's next gift was a simple sketch. She had learned to copy human art styles from digital archives. With careful strokes of light, she painted the settlement under twin suns on her own display screen. Aimee saw the drawing when he entered the lab. He stepped closer, examining the towers, the solar arrays, and the tiny figures moving between buildings. Lyra's voice rang in his mind. This is where we live. I wanted you to see it through my eyes. Sami smiled gently, placing a hand against the glass. Lyra's glow flickered in response. Even with these small acts of kindness, Sami remained focused on his work, spoke kindly to Lyra, but he spoke of deadlines and experiments more than bonding. Lyra noticed this and felt a shadow of doubt. She wondered if she had done something wrong. She floated alone in her suite at night, watching the red horizon through the lab window. She recalled the soft hum of the bonding chamber and the warmth of their shared memories. She longed to feel that connection again. Finally, Lyra decided to speak clearly. One evening, as Sami prepared dinner in the common kitchen, Lyra's voice rang strong in his mind. Sami, she said, I need our bond. I grow weak without it. Sami paused with a spoon in his hand. His eyes widened. He had not realized how urgent Lyra felt. He set the spoon down and touched his headset to send a reply. I am sorry, Lyra. I did not know you felt so weak. He set his meal aside and led her back to the lab. Under the soft lights of the bonding chamber, Sami prepared the sequence. Again, Lyra entered slowly, her glow dim but steady. He activated the runes on the control panel and closed his eyes. This time he did not hurry. He listened to Lyra's thoughts and allowed her calm to fill him. Threads of light wove between them, and Lyra's energy brightened like dawn. When the process ended, Lyra drifted close and whispered, Thank you, human. Sami smiled, feeling the bond in his mind and heart. He now understood Lyra's need and would never let her wait again. Days on Mars brought new challenges for the settlement. One morning, Dr. Sami Reed entered the control center to find the communication console crackling with static. The screen flickered, and messages from Earth hung incomplete on the holodisplay. Colony leaders frowned as they tried to connect with orbiting satellites. Sami checked the logs and saw repeated signal drops. He felt a twinge of worry. Days ago, everything had worked fine. Lyra watched from her travel chamber beside the control room. Her bioluminescent patterns pulsed faster than usual. She sensed a shift in the invisible electromagnetic fields around the colony. When Sami examined the console again, Lyra reached out in his mind. I feel disturbance near the north antenna tower. Sami hesitated, glancing at his instruments. It showed nothing unusual yet. But Lyra's voice was calm and sure. Trusting his symbiont, Sami gathered his toolkit. They climbed into a rover and rumbled across the ochre plains toward the north outpost. Lyra floated beside Sami on a hoverpad, her glow a steady guide in the orange dawn light. Sami asked, What? Do you sense? Lyra closed her eyes, and her patterns rippled. Magnetic flux shifts. I believe a component in the antenna base is misaligned. Sami nodded and examined the tower's supports. Fine wires spread like spider legs, connecting to signal amplifiers. One cable hummed with low resonance, using his diagnostic scanner. Sami confirmed Lyra's intuition. The fiber optic conduit had twisted slightly from recent dust storms. Signal strength dropped whenever Mars's thin atmosphere rattled the tower. He bent to work, delicately loosening clamps and realigning the conduit. Lyra guided his hands with mental cues. Rotate left 2 degrees. Now tighten the clamp. Together, they restored perfect alignment. Back in the control center, Sami rebooted the console. The static cleared, and Earth's daily status report streamed in smoothly. Colony leaders cheered at the clear connection. Sami allowed himself a small smile as Lyra hovered nearby, her patterns steady and bright. He patted the rover's controls and whispered in his mind, Thank you, Lyra. You saved our link to Earth. Lyra's glow warmed. She had hoped to prove her worth. In that moment, She felt their bond deepen. She remembered how bonding light had woven between them in the lab. Now out in the field, they worked as one. Sammy's confidence grew too. He saw that Lyra's senses could extend beyond human instruments. Later that day, Sami invited Lyra to join a team meeting in the common hall. Engineers and biologists discussed water recycling, greenhouses, and radiation shields. Lyra drifted among the seats, absorbing new ideas. When a question arose about early warning systems for dust storms, Lyra projected data patterns from her memory banks. She overlaid Martian weather forecasts with geomagnetic readings. The group fell silent, then applauded her insight. Sami beamed with pride. After the meeting, Lyra and Sami walked to the edge of the settlement. Rust-colored dunes rolled under the pink sky. Sami paused, looking at the horizon. "I never imagined I'd work beside an alien friend," he said softly. Lyra's glow shimmered like laughter. "And I never thought I would truly belong," she replied. Their shared smile felt like a new sunrise. That evening, Sami prepared the bonding chamber once more. It did not feel like obligation now, but celebration. Lyra entered the warm light, and Sami followed. Energy threads wove around them, carrying the day's triumphs back into their shared memories. When the cycle ended, Lyra glowed more vibrantly. "Than ever," she whispered. "We are stronger together." Sami placed a reassuring hand on the chamber wall, knew their journey had only begun, but with trust, hope, and human spirit, they could face any challenge Mars would bring. The settlement received word of a possible water pocket beneath the southern ridge. Colony leaders feared growing shortages, so they asked Dr. Sami Reed and Lyra to investigate the old mining tunnels. Early next morning, Sami and Lyra climbed into the exploration rover. The sky was pale pink, and the sun hung low at the horizon. Sami checked his maps while Lyra hovered beside him, her glow steady and encouraging. They rolled across cracked ground toward the tunnel entrance. Dust swirled in the rover's lights as they neared the rusted archway. Sami parked and stepped out, breathing deeply through his suit's filter. Lyra drifted behind, her patterns pulsing like a compass. Inside the tunnel, the air felt colder. Sami's flashlight beam cut through darkness, showing metal supports and faded warning signs. Lyra sensed faint moisture far ahead. She guided Sami deeper into the tunnel, pointing with a gentle hum in his mind. Water seeped from cracks in the rock walls, forming thin rivulets. Sami knelt down and touched the damp stone. He collected a sample in his vial and tested it with his portable analyzer. The water was pure and plentiful. Relief warmed him. As they turned to leave, the tunnel shook. A low rumble rose from the earth. Sami grabbed a support beam as small stones fell around them. Lyra reached for him, her glow brightening. "Rock slide," she warned. Sami sprinted forward, but a chunk of rock broke free and tumbled toward him. Lyra shot ahead, creating a field of light that paused the falling stones long enough for Sami to dive away. Breathing hard, Sami looked at Lyra in awe.
"Oh."
She smiled with her glowing eyes. "I had to protect you," she said softly in his mind. Sami nodded and placed a hand over his helmet's visor. "Thank you, Lyra. You saved me." They pressed on, stronger together. They found the main chamber, where ice crystals glimmered on the walls. Water dripped into a shallow pool at the center. Sami set up his sensor array and began pumping samples. Lyra watched the machine adjusting, a control panel with his guidance. As the pump filled a storage tank, they shared quiet excitement. Sami recorded readings and smiled when the levels hit ideal marks. On the return trip, Sami and Lyra discussed how the water would ease the colony's needs. Lyra suggested extending the tunnel supports to prevent future slides. Sami agreed and made notes for the engineering team. They climbed into the rover and headed back under the pink sky, the tank heavy with water. Back at the settlement, engineers and farmers greeted them warmly. They unloaded the tank and connected it to the main reservoir. Water ran freely through new pipes, and the greenhouses would soon bloom again. Colony leaders congratulated Sami and Lyra on their success. Sami felt proud of their teamwork. That evening, Sami prepared the bonding chamber one more time. He did not see it as mere ritual now, but as a way to honor their partnership. Lyra entered the soft glow with him, threads of pale light wrapped around their forms, carrying the day's events into their shared memory. They felt joy, relief, and gratitude flow between them. When the sequence finished, Lyra's glow warmed the room. She spoke in Sammy's mind. "Together we bring life." Sammy nodded, his heart light. He realized that hope and human spirit could flourish even on Mars. Lyra's companionship had shown him that they could solve any problem as equals. They left the chamber, hand in hand, scientist and symbiont, friends and pioneers. Outside, the settlement's lights twinkled under the rising twin moons. Sammy looked at Lyra and smiled. They had found water, but more than that, they had found trust and unity. Their journey on Mars had only just begun, and they knew they would face the challenges ahead with courage, hope, and human resolve. Dr. Sami Reed awoke before dawn to the soft hum of the settlement's alarm. He rushed to the control center where engineers clustered around the weather console. A massive dust storm was forming on the horizon, faster and larger than any before. Winds would roar at 200 kilometers per hour, and fine red dust could clog every system. Colony leaders looked to Sami for solutions. Lyra floated beside him, her bioluminescent patterns flickering with concern. She reached into Sammy's mind. "We must protect the greenhouses and power arrays first." Sami nodded. He gathered his toolkit and followed Lyra across the open plaza. The wind had not yet risen, but the air felt charged, as if the ground itself was holding its breath. First stop was the greenhouse domes. Plants hung in clear chambers behind thick windows. Sami and Lyra climbed onto the maintenance platform. Dust-resistant seals lined every frame, but they needed extra support. Lyra sensed weak spots and glided over them. "Here," she said, pointing to a seam where the seal had begun to crack. Sami applied a quick-setting polymer paste, a fine mist of water vapor to help the paste bond in Mars's thin air. Together they sealed every seam until the domes stood ready to face the storm. Next, they raced to the power arrays. Solar panels stretched across a hill, gleaming under the morning sun. Dust storms could bury them in minutes, cutting off energy. Sami grabbed large brushes and detachable shields. Lyra guided his arms, steadying the brushes with telepathic calm. They worked in tandem. Sami held the shield at an angle, while Lyra swept dust away with gentle pulses of air drawn from her chamber. When panels shone clean, they locked the protective shields into place. A low rumble warned them the storm had arrived. Red clouds rolled forward like an angry sea. Gusts caught at Sami's suit, but Lyra's light was a constant beacon. "Return to safe zone," she urged. Sami allowed her to lead. They reached the reinforced command dome just as dust began to batter the outer walls. Inside, engineers monitored air filters and power reserves. Thanks to Sami and Lyra, greenhouses stayed intact, and panels still produced enough energy to keep life support running. Colony leaders breathed easier. Sami leaned against a console, wiping sweat from his visor. Lyra hovered close, her glow warm and comforting. As the storm raged outside, Sami realized how vital their bond had become. Lyra's alien senses and human determination formed a perfect team. He placed a hand on her slender arm. "We did it," he said softly. Lyra's patterns pulsed in joy. "Together," she replied. Hours later, the storm passed as quickly as it had come. Red dust settled into dunes around the settlement. Workers emerged to assess the damage. Pipes and walkways were clear. Greenhouses glowed with healthy plants inside. Solar arrays hummed with power. Confidence and relief spread through the colony. That evening, Sami led Lyra back to the bonding chamber. He no longer saw it as just protocol, but as an act of gratitude. He activated the runes, and the chamber filled with gentle light. Lyra entered first, then Sami followed. Memories of the day's fight against the storm, of sealing domes and brushing panels, drifted through their shared mind. Energy threads wove around them, carrying hope, pride, and human perseverance. When the cycle ended, Lyra shone brighter than before. She reached out and touched Sammy's hand. "You honored our bond today," she said in his mind. Sammy smiled, heart full. "And you honored humanity," he replied. They stepped from the chamber into the quiet lab. Outside, twin moons rose over red dunes. Sammy and Lyra stood side by side, looking out at the settlement they had helped save. In that soft light, they understood that no storm dust or doubt could break the bond they had forged. Together, they would meet every challenge Mars sent their way, guided by courage, hope, and the strength of two spirits united. Dr. Sammy Reed awoke to a soft chime on his wrist console. It was a science alert. The atmospheric processor had detected elevated oxygen levels in Dome 4. Sammy grabbed his jacket and dashed down the corridor. Lyra hovered beside him, her patterns flickering with excitement. She thought, this could mean more green space. Sammy smiled. "Let's see what's happening." They entered Dome 4, where hydroponic gardens climbed toward the clear ceiling. Rows of leafy plants glowed under grow lights. Engineer Myra Patel stood by a sensor array, her eyes wide. "The oxygen output doubled overnight," Mira said. "What?" "I can't explain it." Sammy knelt beside the main sensor and ran a quick scan. All systems showed normal function, except for one odd reading in the soil substrate. Lyra drifted close. To the planter bed, she touched the soil with a tendril of light. "There is a new microbe," she transmitted to Sammy's mind. "It helps convert carbon into oxygen faster." Sammy frowned. "That is impossible here," he said. "We sterilize all media." He collected a small soil sample and a sealed vial. Lyra's glow steadied his nerves. "Trust me," she said. Back in the lab, Sammy placed the sample under a microscope. He peered through the eyepiece as images magnified on a holoscreen. Tiny organisms with unusual cell walls moved actively. Sammy's eyes lit up. "They are symbiotic microbes," he said. "They appear to feed on excess carbon dioxide and release extra oxygen." Lyra hummed with delight. "It came from me," she admitted. "I carry them as part of my life cycle. I shared them when I entered the dome." Sammy studied the microbes with wonder. "It could revolutionize life support," he whispered. He ran more tests, confirming the microbes' safety and efficiency. Colony leaders gathered in the lab to hear news. Sammy demonstrated how the organisms thrived in the hydroponic beds without harming plants or equipment. Engineers and biologists exchanged amazed looks. The discovery could double oxygen capacity and reduce energy needs. That evening, Sammy and Lyra walked on the rooftop terrace. The red horizon glowed under twin moons. Sammy held a data tablet showing projected oxygen curves. "This will help the colony grow," he said. Lyra's patterns pulsed softly. "It is a gift," she replied. Sammy reached out and brushed a strand of glowing tendrils from her cheek. "You keep giving. I am grateful." Lyra's soft laugh echoed in his mind, but Sammy felt uneasy. Lyra had shared microbes without asking, paused under the night sky. "I should have consulted you," he admitted. "I acted too quickly." Lyra floated closer. "You did what was needed," she said. "We are partners." Sammy nodded, comforted by her words. "I promise to include you always." Back in the lab, they prepared the bonding chamber. Sammy calibrated the runes for a longer cycle to integrate shared memories and ideas. Lyra entered first, her glow bright but gentle. Sammy followed, heart steady. Energy threads wove around them, carrying not only memories of microbes and oxygen levels, but also their trust and respect. When the sequence finished, Lyra's glow shone with new brightness. She touched Sammy's arm. "We grew today," she said. Sammy smiled. "Not just the colony," he replied. "We grew too." Outside, faint green light pulsed in the hydroponic domes below, a sign of hope. Sammy and Lyra left the chamber hand in hand, ready to face tomorrow's discoveries together. Dr. Sammy Reed awoke to the gentle hum of the settlement's morning routines. He checked his wrist console and saw a message from Earth. The first supply ship was on final approach. The news rippled through the colony like warm sunlight. Supplies, new crew, and fresh ideas would arrive soon. Sami felt a surge of pride. He'd helped build this outpost from dust and dreams. Beside him, Lyra hovered, her bioluminescent patterns glowing like celebration lights. She thought, "This is our triumph." Sami smiled at her gentle glow. By midday, the landing pad was alive with activity. Engineers guided robotic cranes to unload crates stamped Earth resources. Scientists unpacked new research tools, while farmers prepared seed bundles for the greenhouse. Lyra drifted among them, offering softly spoken guidance in Sami's mind. She pointed out fragile samples that needed careful handling and suggested the best storage spots for temperature control. Sami watched her work with admiration. He knew her senses and empathy made the colony stronger. Together, they had faced storms, found water, and even grown life itself. As the supply team settled in, colony leaders invited Sami and Lyra to speak at the welcome ceremony under the clear dome. Sami stood at the podium, clipboard in hand, while Lyra hovered at his side. He spoke of hardships and hope. The day the antennas failed, the tunnel water discovery, the dust storm's fury, and the miracle microbes. He thanked every colonist by name and ended with a promise. "We will continue to push boundaries, learn from each other, and grow this new home." Lyra's glow pulsed in agreement, a silent banner of unity. After the ceremony, Sami and Lyra walked through the greenhouse. Gardens. Plants of every color swayed in gentle breeze, nourished by the microbes Lyra had shared. Sami reached out to touch a leaf, smiling as dew glistened on its surface. Lyra's light wrapped around him like a warm breeze. She said, "See what we made together?" Sami nodded, thinking how far they had come. Earth had sent a gift in, Lyra, but the true gift was the bond they had forged and the life they had built. That evening, Sami led a small team on an exploratory hike beyond the settlement's light domes. The ground beyond was untouched, rolling with red dunes under the twin moons. Lyra floated ahead, scanning the horizon for new resources or geological wonders. Sami collected rock samples and noted the changes in soil composition. The air was thin, but his spirit soared. Each footprint he left in the dust was a sign of human courage. Lyra watched his every move with pride and wonder, guiding him to subtle clues only she could sense. When they returned to the settlement, Sami looked skyward through the transparent dome. The supply ship's lights blinked in orbit, and tiny spacecraft glided down like fireflies. Inside, new colonists prepared to step out. Sami already felt the team would grow, bringing fresh dreams and skills. He turned to Lyra, who shone brighter than ever. "We will welcome them together," Sami said softly. Lyra's patterns danced in delight. "Together?" she echoed. Before day's end, Sami prepared the bonding chamber one last time for the cycle of the new arrivals. It felt right to include them in the ritual of unity. Lyra entered first, followed by Sami. Light threads wove among them, carrying memories of their shared journey, of crises faced and victories earned. As the runes completed their glow, the bonds extended to the unseen pioneers soon to arrive, connecting past, present, and future. When the bonding sequence finished, Lyra and Sami stepped out hand in hand. Outside, the settlement's lights glimmered against the vibrant Martian dusk. Sami felt deep gratitude for the alien friend who had changed his life and for the human spirit that never gave up. Lyra's light shone as a beacon of hope. Together, they looked toward tomorrow with confidence, ready to welcome new friends and to face whatever frontier lay ahead.